All right, Mzansi, once again, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Vooka Breakfast Show. It is a Tuesday morning, and of course, this morning you're going to fuel your morning with inspiration and motivation that you need. It is the second day of the week, as we always start the week with positivity ahead of us. Tuesday morning, we bring you what we call Wellness Tuesday, just to focus you, just to put that focus back to you so that you can have that great week ahead of you. My name is Muketi Maiman, and I'm so excited to be with you, ahead of this show. And of course, we're going to bring you exciting moments as we're going to be having guests right here, having those thought-provoking and thought-compelling conversation that you need to be part of. So for you to stay connected with us, you just need to follow us on our social media platforms. Right now, we are live on YouTube. All you need to do is to use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show just to comment down below and just share your 2 cents with us, because your engagement is very important. Remember that it is Tuesday. There is something that you are choosing wherever you are listening and watching from. We are also Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So that's where you're going to get every update that we post right here on the show. So you know that each and every morning we are dedicated into improving your bucket list so that you can travel and just to look deep inside what South Africa has to offer, whether it's a leisure and discovering a lot of things right there. So you're asking yourself, the pictures behind me, where is that place and how can I travel there? So for today's picture of the day, we have what we call the Cape Agulhas, right? A lighthouse standing at Africa's southernmost point near the town of La Agulhas, and has been a guiding light since 1849. Inspired by Egypt's ancient lighthouse of Alexandria, its 27-meter red and white sandstone tower warns the ships of the perilous Agulhas Bank, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet. Visible up to 30 nautical miles, it remains one of the South Africa's oldest working lighthouses. Inside, visitors can explore the nation's only dedicated lighthouse museum, which showcases maritime artifacts and history. A climb to the top rewards with sweeping coastal views, making it a both historic landmark and a bucket list stop for ocean lovers. Yes, at the very tip of Africa, there is a lighthouse that's been guarding our shores for over 170 years. That is the Cape Agulhas Lighthouse, where the Atlantic and Indian Ocean crash into each other in style. It's not just history. You'll find there the views from the top are worth every step. And yes, there is a museum too, because even the ocean secrets deserve their own display. And also wondering how you would get there, no worries, we've got you covered with what you call the Tswelopele shuttle services, offering exclusive tours that are only meant for you, just to enhance your traveling experience. All I need you to do is to buckle up and check this out.
Escape the ordinary and discover the extraordinary with Soweto Tours. Whether you're a group of friends or a family looking for a memorable getaway, Soweto Tours has you covered. Our all-inclusive tours take you to South Africa's most stunning destinations, from the scenic beauty of Mpumalanga to the vibrant life of Gauteng and the coastal charm of Durban.
Alright, Vooka Nation, I hope that was helpful enough for you to get you where you want to go, which is the Cape Agulhas. But with that being said, you know that each and every morning we started with inspiration and people are going to join us. So in today's guest, we're going to be having Lerato Angelina Mokoena, who is a gifted poet, writer, youth leader from Letlhabile, a township in South Africa's northwest province, and she is now a grade 9 learner in Ikatisong Secondary School. Lerato has already published her debut poetry collection, Ink Stains and Heartbeats, with Nook Books Publishers. Her work has earned her accolades. Now, that's truly inspiring to see young people in the space doing the most. So do make sure that you stay tuned for this one. Next, we'll also be joined by Reabethu Mafisa, who is the founder and head therapist of East Mobile Spa, a wellness brand rooted in mobility, accessibility, and holistic healing. Her journey began in the classroom of Hillview High School and blossomed at Camelot International, where she earned multiple diplomas in health and skincare therapy, including prestigious certification from SIPTAC and SIDESCO. Now, for a Wellness Tuesday, that's what you need to stay tuned for and extract as much information as we can from her. So please do make sure that you do not miss out. Lastly, you're going to be joined by Thando Monyake, who is a dynamic South African content creator whose digital presence blends lifestyle, storytelling, cultural pride, and powerful commitment to wellness. Across TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, Thando shares engaging vlogs with South Africa being one of the global leaders in obesity and unemployment. So Thando's lifetime goal is clear: to chop off hefty amount of those numbers. His fitness journey is more than personal. It's a call to action, inspiring others to embrace healthier lifestyle and build resilience through movement and mindset. This is surely another wellness conversation you do not want to miss out. Only right here and exclusively on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So I just hope that you can't wait for those powerful conversations we are about to have. So you need to engage with us throughout. And of course, if you want to dial us in or call us in the studio, the number to do that's 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. So right now we're going to take a short break and give you your latest weather update, and then when we come back, we'll give you your news, sports, and traffic headlines. So please do make sure that you do not go anywhere. All right, that was your weather update. Now let's head over to your news headlines. Starting off with the first headline: Action SA unmoved by Mackenzie's apology. Action SA has rejected Sports Minister Gayton Mackenzie's apology over resurfaced racist tweet from over a decade ago. Although Mackenzie posted on X saying he is truly sorry, he denied being racist, calling himself a stupid and a troll. Action SA says that the apology lacks sincerity and has called for his removal. The party has formally reported Mackenzie to the South African Human Rights Commission, citing his use of apartheid-era slurs and demeaning language towards black South Africans. They argue that a sitting cabinet minister must be held accountable for such remarks regardless of when they were made. On the next headline, clinic protesters from Dudula released with a warning. 3 Operation Dudula members aged 49 to 60 have been released on a warning after being arrested for disrupting services at Lilian Ngoi Clinic. The women allegedly stormed the maternity ward demanding ID documents from patients to verify their nationalities. They face charges of public violence, trespassing, and violating the National Health Act. Operation Dudula claims the arrests were unlawful and part of a broader effort to frustrate the anti-migrant campaign. The group has threatened legal action and continues to call for stricter immigration enforcement at public health facilities. On the next headline, digital banking is now second nature for most of us, from tapping a phone in store to shopping online. But behind the convenience lies growing concerns over fraud. The National Financial Ombud Scheme reports digital banking fraud complaints surged by 73% in just a year. That's 1,000 more people falling victim to scams despite the promised security for virtual cards. Johanna Brower from the National Financial Ombud Scheme said banking customers are contacted by fraudsters who have devised several ways of divulging their online banking credentials. That's all for your news headlines. Heading over to your football news. Spurs open talks to sign Man City winger Savinho. Tottenham have opened talks with Manchester City over signing Brazilian winger Savinho. The 21-year-old impressed with 48 appearances last season, but faces reduced game time following City's £30 million signing Ryan Cherki. Spurs are urgently seeking attacking reinforcement after Son moved to LAFC and James Maddison ACL injury. City are reluctant to sell Savinho but may consider offers above €50 million, potentially securing a profit on the £30 million they paid last year. On the next headline, Palace lose appeal against demotion from Europa League. Crystal Palace have lost their appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport and will be demoted from the Europa League to the Conference League. UEFA ruled the club breached multi-club ownership rules due to former shareholder John Textor's stake in both Palace and Lyon. Despite selling his shares in June, Palace missed the UEFA's March first compliance deadline. Nottingham Forest will take place in Europa's league spot, while the Eagles face Fredrikstad and Midtjylland in the conference round of play-off. On the cricket news, Proteas left to rule dropped catch in the first T20 loss. Australia edged South Africa by 17 runs in a thrilling T20 eye-opener in Darwin. Team David was the match winner with a blistering 83, capitalizing on a dropped catch by Tristan Stubbs, who Namapaka impressed with 4 wickets, becoming the youngest bowler from a full member nation to achieve a T20I 4-wicket haul. Ryan Rickelton top scored for South Africa with 71, but the Proteas fell short at 161 for 9, chasing 178. Captain Aiden Mahram praised the team's fight, while Rickelton highlighted missed chances in the pace of T20 cricket. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more sports and news updates throughout the show. Don't forget to share your thoughts on these headlines with us on social media using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, and send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. Now let's take a short break and give you your financials into how is the rand looking like with other currencies out there, and then come back with your latest traffic headline. All right, let us keep you safe with your latest traffic update, and we hope that you stay safe and drive safely on those roads. So let us give you your latest traffic update right now. So heads up, if you are on the N1 northbound, there's been a crash at Samrent Avenue. The two right lanes are closed and traffic is moving slowly through the area. Expect delays and drive with caution. Good news on the N3 southbound. The stationary vehicle after Marlborough Drive has been cleared. Roads are open, but please continue to drive carefully. However, a new stationary vehicle has been reported on the N3 southbound again just after Marlborough Drive. This time, the middle lane is affected. Approach with care and stay alert. That's all for your traffic headline. If you happen to be on the road, please do make sure that you share your traffic headline for other commuters so that they can be cleared with traffic on 0604933226. That's 0604933226. Right now, let us get ahead of our positive start to our day, accompanied by that daily positivity. So please do make sure that you stay with us and you do not go anywhere. See you after the break.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazibugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Miss.
My name is Ketsu Mguni
On the Vooka
Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
Vooka Breakfast Show.
We're out here in the heart of Soweto, Dobsonville. This is right next to Zondi Hills and just before you get to Broad Fisher Club. I'm out here, my name is Musi West. I'm out here with the one and only maximum temperature. I'm working my money. CC Shabalala Wakabazibugo, and of course our station manager, the one and only Vanelli Lyric. And we're traveling out here, man. This is what we do on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yeah, you gotta get it fresh.
We are fresh and nice. Now it's time to take the information to the people.
Of course, like Mo just mentioned, do stay tuned, comment, like, subscribe, share your thoughts and your opinions and everything else in between. We're going to be coming to a street to do live near you, wanting to know what your thoughts are out there on the street.
First, we've got TCO Mazibugo with the traffic update. Right now, we are going to N1 southbound to make sure that whatever that you guys get, it is real-time information.
Yes,
so looking at Mukhorosi, we have robots that are not working right here, but the traffic is moving. We're going to look at when is your rush hour time, when people are from the work, or from school,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes,
I'm gonna give you your daily update, so do make sure that you stay with us. Mobile Vooka Breakfast
Yes,
Show.
sir.
Away. 22 minutes past 7. It is the time, and you're still with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. I hope that you are feeling warm on this wonderful Tuesday. You know that when it comes to Tuesday, we choose impact and we choose a powerful moment that we will always cherish. So right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we will help you to choose those powerful moments as we are going to have those interesting conversations. Everything that we bring you is other things that are happening in and all around our country. So please do make sure that you stay with us. And of course, if you want to share your sentiments with us on these matters, all you need to do is to use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show right there on YouTube. And just tell us what you think, because your thoughts are some of the things that we would like to hear in terms of what you think. It is very important for us to also hear from you in terms of what you're thinking. And if you want to dial us in, the number to do that is 060-493-3226. That is 060-493-3226. So much we have for you in store for today's day as we are looking for the week ahead of us. It's still Tuesday, the 12th of August. And yes, this is the episode number 119. Strongly and of course happily growing day after day. So I just hope that you stay with us. Share the live with your loved ones because we are only live right now on YouTube. If you want updates, you can also follow us on other social media platforms. So in terms of the financials that you have just seen on your screen, let me just give you a summary of how they are looking like in terms of how the dollar is, how the rand is doing with other currencies out there, including the US dollar, the British pound, Botswana pula, the Japanese yen, also the euro and the Australian dollar. So let's start off with the US dollar and look into how is the rand performing against the US dollar. So the US dollar dipped to 17 rand 73 cents, and imports from the states might sting a bit more. So for each and every dollar you must have 17 rand 73 cents. Now heading over to the British pound, it is up to 23 rand 98 cents. That is 23 rands 98 cents. So your imported biscuits just got a portion. So when it comes to a British pound, for each and every pound, you must have a 23 rands 98 cents. And then heading over to the Botswanan pula. So the Botswana's pula bounced back to one rand 26 cents. So cross-border shopping not as sweet as last week. So it has increased by the look of things. So it has bounced back to 1 rand 26. For each and every Botswanan pula, you're going to need 1 rand 26 cents. And then the Japanese yen slid to 12 cents. So Sushi Night stays budget friendly, which means it is good news for anyone who would like to trade with the Japanese, right? And then the euro softened to 20 rand 68. Maybe squeeze in an extra souvenir on your euro trip. So for each and every euro, you need 20 rand 68 cents. And then heading over to the Australian dollar, it nudged up to 11 rand 56 cents. And wine prices, they are holding steady. So right there, we're just seeing the fluctuations each and every week. But for Australian dollar right now, it's standing at 11 rand 56 cents. And then the Chinese yuan dipped to 2 rand 47 cents. And electronics may ease off slightly, right? We know that the Chinese are the biggest manufacturer of our electronics that we use today. So their currency against the rand is now standing at 2 rand 47 cents. So that is your snapshot for today on currencies in terms of how your financials are looking like. So please do make sure that you stay tuned for more updates right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. 26 minutes past 7, it is the time. And you know, of course, we always discuss some of the things that took place or that are taking place in our country right now. And of course, that include our headlines right here, right? Because when we started the show, some of the headlines, of course, they are so moving, and right now they have caused some of the controversy. People are calling action to some of the cabinet ministers by the remarks and the racial slurs that are being said out there. So the first headline, Action SA unmoved by Mackenzie's apology. So you're asking yourself what happened, what transpired for the case to be here. And for most of us, we know that Mackenzie, came into action when the Open Chat podcast, made some of the remarks against the colored people of South Africa. So what happened is Action SA has rejected Sports Minister Gayton Mackenzie's apology over resurfaced racist twist from more than 10 years ago. So people on Twitter or South African nationals, they have decided that they're going to dig on the minister's Twitter, just to look into what are some of the things that he said so that he cannot come here and, paint himself as someone who is against racism, but he is someone who has perpetrated some of those comments right there. So Action SA has come in and they're like, we are rejecting the minister's apology because the minister should know better, right? So Mackenzie posted on X, formerly Twitter, saying he is truly sorry but insisted he is not racist, describing his past behavior as stupid and trolling. So Action SA says the apology lacks sincerity and has cancelled for his removal from cabinet. So the party has reported him to the South African Human Rights Commission, which is the SAHRC, for using apartheid-era slurs and demeaning language towards black South Africans. So they argue that accountability should apply regardless of when the remarks were made. So, of course, these are some of the things when you look deep into, people are always asking themselves questions. So, right here on my screen, I have a snapshot from Gayton Mackenzie's Twitter in terms of the remarks he made and, of course, the apology that came after. So, right here, the tweet reads as follows: as he said, I can never be guilty of racism. Try some other take down, but never racism. I did tweet some insensitive, stupid, and hateful things a decade or two ago. I was a troll and stupid. I cringe when seeing them, and I'm truly sorry for that. I shall subject myself to the investigation. That is the minister putting himself right there in the forefront and say, if you want to do any investigations, it's fine. But you cannot dig into my past and, of course, say I am this kind of person today, because those things happen in the past, and as people, we go through changes, and this is where I am, because he did not put himself in the position that he is in right now. As the minister, he did not put himself in the position of becoming a minister. Mr. President Ramaphosa is the one that put him in the position that he is in. So the context of this whole story is that this incident comes amid heightened scrutiny over the conduct and the social media history of public officials. Mackenzie, a high-profile political figure, faces pressure from both opposition parties and civil society. What's next is that the SAHRC will decide whether to investigate and possibly take the matter to the Equality Court. So, politically fallout and could also escalate if coalition partners or cabinet colleagues weigh in. If you're someone who has seen this on your social media and you have commented on some post, we would like to also hear your thoughts and your views regarding this matter right here. So just let us know if the minister should be put into accountability in terms of the racial slurs and the remarks that he has made. Of course, this follows him saying that podcast should also be put into the front line and be investigated in terms of the things that they have said, right? And then on the next headline, clinic protesters from Operation Dudula released with a warning. So what happened right here is that the 3 Operation Dudula members aged 49 to 60 years of age were released on a warning after being arrested at Lilian Ngoyi Clinic. They allegedly stormed the maternity ward, demanding patients show ID documents to confirm their nationalities. The women face charges of public violence, trespassing, and violating the National Health Act. Operation Dudula claims the arrests were unlawful and part of an effort to undermine their anti-migrant campaign. The group has threatened legal action and continues to call for stricter immigration enforcement in public health facilities. So the context of this whole story is that Operation Dudula is known for controversial anti-migrant activism, often clashing with human rights groups and government officials. So the case raises ongoing tensions over migration, healthcare access, and xenophobia in our country. What's next is that the legal proceedings are expected to continue, and the group may intensify its protest actions. So government and civil society could also increase call for clearer policies and patients' rights in the public facilities. And we have seen all over social media some of the viral videos circulating on social media where foreign nationals being removed from clinics and also from seeking medical attention to their nearest clinics in their communities. right? So, on the last headline that we touched on, online card fraud spike prompts Ombud alert. So, what happened is that the complaints to the National Financial Ombud Scheme about digital banking fraud rose by 73% in just 1 year. Even with virtual card security, thousands of South Africans have fallen victims to scams. Fraudsters use phishing, impersonation, and other tactics to steal banking credentials, then create virtual cards to drain the accounts. So, Ombud spokesperson Johanna Brewer warns that criminals are becoming more sophisticated in targeting unsuspecting users. So, the context of this whole story is that the surge in fraud coincides with the boom in online shopping and digital banking adoption. So many victims mistakenly believe virtual cards make them completely safe from theft. What's next is that the Ombud is calling for greater public awareness campaigns and stronger security measures from the banks. Customers are urged to also verify suspicious messages, avoid sharing credentials, and report incidents immediately if they see something. So, we know that right here in South Africa, some of the banks, they are declining. Now, the decline and use of ATMs is happening, and the scourge is becoming higher and higher as it is being reported that now people should move digitally. And these are the conversations that we need to have in terms of, do you think that most communities in South Africa are ready to move digitally? And of course, when it comes to digital education, basic digital education, people should be informed in terms of now, things moving digitally and things becoming digitally in our country. So it is very important that the information should be shared. And don't worry, we've got you covered here with each and every information in terms of what is happening, what are the updates, and where are we moving. But we just hope that the Ombud itself, for that greater public awareness campaigns and stronger security measures from the banks, it is going to be shared, of course, with the customers and the people who are using their services, right? So I also want to hear from you right there, from wherever you are watching from, in terms of what are your sentiments? What do you think in terms of these headlines and what is going on in our country? Because, of course, we urge for the safety South Africa that no one will be scared to live in. So you can also dial us on 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. And also, if you want to comment down below, you can use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. We are live on YouTube. And then, of course, heading over to our socials right there, I have Louis too coming in and saying, good morning, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile on a Tuesday. And then he comes back and say, hashtag Happy Tuesday and be blessed, Vooka team, and Ama Vooka Amahle. A very good morning to you, Louis too. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope that you're going to be with us throughout the show so that, of course, we can have those energy exchanging conversation right here. And with that being said, some of the conversation we're going to have with our guests, I hope that everyone who is listening and watching, they're going to learn from those conversations. But before we take a short break, so much is in store for you, and please do make sure that you stay with us. As the Vooka team, we make sure that we bring you exclusively right there in your screens, right? And you know that we are not always rolling alone. We always have a team with me that makes sure that whatever that you get, whatever that you hear and watch from wherever, it is brought in quality, format. But with that being said, a very good morning to you, Afriberry. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Mo. I'm doing fantastic, except that I have a bit of a boo-boo.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm doing fantastic, man. And I hope that the Vooka Nation is also feeling amazing on this beautiful Tuesday. But to choose Maskete like Kitum Tandai. Tell us, who are you choosing on this wonderful and amazing Tuesday? And of course, let us know know, how was your weekend? How are you doing? And I also hope that you had a wonderful weekend. As you know that Minangama Mondays and you're off. Hey, I come back. But yes, man. But I hope you guys are going to stay tuned for amazing and jam-packed show that we have for you in store. Don't move, don't yagas, footy, don't tatazel. Stay there, man.
Yeah, and as promised, in terms of the guest, I just want to remind you some of the people who are going to be with us in the conversation that we are going to have right here in studio. So we are going to be joined by Lerato Angelina, who is a very young poet and a writer right here. She will be joining us online. So please do make sure that you wait for that, conversation that we're going to have with her. So Lerato Angelina Mokoena is a gifted poet, writer, and youth leader from Letlhabile, a township in South Africa's northwest province. Now a grade 9 learner at Ikatisong Secondary School, Lerato has already published her debut poetry collection, Ink Stains and Heartbeats, with Nook Books publishers. Her work has earned her accolades, and of course, now that is truly inspiring to see young people in the space doing the most. So do make sure that you stay tuned for this one, and just to know more about some of the accolades that she possessed. And of course, I'm not ending it there. Last two guests that we're going to be joined by is Reabetswe Mafisa, who is the founder of Head Therapist of East Mobile Spa, a wellness brand rooted in mobility, accessibility, and holistic healing. Her journey began in the classrooms of Hillview High School and blossomed in the Camelot International, where she earned multiple diplomas in health and skincare therapy, including prestigious certification from SIPTAC and CIDESCO. Now for a Wellness Tuesday, that's what you want to stay tuned for and extract much information from her. Of course, from you can also learn a thing or two and also share it with your friends and families. So of course, lastly, in terms of Wellness Tuesday, Mr. Thando Munyaka, a sales advisor and the wellness coach, is also going to be joining us right here in the studio. He is a dynamic South African content creator whose digital presence blends lifestyle storytelling, cultural pride, and a powerful commitment to wellness across TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Thando shares engaging vlogs, with South Africa being one of the global leaders in obesity and unemployment. So Thando's lifetime goal is much clear as a crystal, as he says, to chop off a hefty amount of those numbers. So his fitness, of course, journey is more than a personal. It's a call to action, inspiring others to embrace a healthier lifestyle and build resilience through movement and mindset. This is surely another wellness conversation you don't want to miss out. Only right here. Of course, we bring you exclusive content from day to day. So what we're going to do right now is to take a short break, because there's so many things that we need to discuss, and of course highlighting that it is still Women's Month. We're still highlighting some of the women who are doing big things out there. And if you happen to know any women out there and you would like to highlight them and give them a shout out, please do so right there on our comment section by commenting down below. Right, so 20 minutes to 8 it is the time. So what we're gonna do right now is to take a short break, and of course when we come back we get straight into highlighting some of those women right here.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketue Mnguni
On the Vooka
Breakfast Show. Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you, and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
Well, yeah, shopping blossom memory. Yes.
Wow.
8 minutes, of course, and until we hit 8 o'clock on the dot, and you're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show. You know, this is your best morning breakfast show, of course, that brings you that daily dose of positivity accompanied by that energetic start to your day. We are located right here in Johannesburg, the heart of Johannesburg, which is Soweto, Dobsonville. And of course, that is where we are streaming live in the Blinko studio. So if you want to reach out to us right now using our number, the number to do so is 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. So I've just got an update right now that our last guest that I mentioned, he won't be joining us. Mr. Thando Munyake will no longer be joining us today because he is sick. So we wish him a speedy recovery from wherever he is. But of course, that does not stop here. We are going to check up on him in terms of when he is going to come in studio and share the information that you and I, of course, need. And then heading over to our comment section right there, Priscilla Maiman comes through saying, morning. Good morning to you. I hope that you are feeling good this morning because it's a Tuesday, and we would like to know that what are you choosing? Are you choosing yourself? Are you choosing someone else who means, or they are dear to you? Right, comes back and say, I woke up late today. I couldn't even attend my morning appointment. I don't love this Tuesday, Claire. My day is messed up already.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry about that. Sometimes it's a hassle, man. But I'm very sorry about that. We just hope that you actually be able to attend any other appointment that you may have throughout the day. But thank you very much for also tuning in to the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yeah, and don't worry, we've got you covered. If you want that positivity, just to make your day, please stay with us because we promise that we are going to make it up to you, right? So it doesn't mean that if you do not love that moment, you have to don't love the whole day, which is a Tuesday itself. Don't worry, if you don't choose this day, Rona, we promise that we choose you. And of course, we choose you by bringing you some of the conversation that we want you to join us as we are going to discuss them. So what I want us to go into is the conversation about Women's Month and what other people are saying in terms of the sentiments that they have shared, because I was watching this other conversation about women in power, and of course it's still being redefined in terms of women being in power, and some women came in and shared their sentiments that this is the reason that we do not see most women in power. And those reasons, of course, it's their opinions, and of course they would like to hear what other people have to say, right? But another one that we have to discuss right here is careers where women outperform men. And this is not mainly for competition, but of course it's for positive reasons where we need to see some of the women, if there is a careers where, patriarchy is not involved at all. That is where we're going to push some of these girls who grow up to be women to go into those careers and perform very well for themselves. Right? So, according to the numerous studies across healthcare, education, and leadership, women consistently excel in roles requiring empathy, communication, and relational intelligence. These findings aren't about opinion. They are grounded in measurable outcomes and real-world impact. So, the first one is nursing and midwifery. Why women excel in this is because high levels of emotional intelligence, nurturing ability, and communication make women especially effective in patient care. And yes, we know that women, when it comes to nurturing, it's their nature. So this is where they excel. So everywhere when it comes to nursing and midwifery, I think this is where women excel and they make their level best. I don't know. What's your view on this one?
No, on that one, it's pretty much true, man, because throughout ancient times, it has actually been known that women are the ones who are supposed to be midwives. And you look at also ancient texts, even if you had a male doctor, you'd also find the ladies who are the one delivering the babies, and the man would never be fully present within that space in its own.
Yeah.
But one thing that I like is the fact that now females are now doctors, because throughout ancient times, it was a bit of a taboo to be seen by a female doctor or have a female doctor even assess you for just a simple cold.
Yeah.
But that one has changed, and I'm pretty grateful for that one, hey?
Yeah, and we know that when it comes to nursing, a lot of patients, they prefer, women in those healthcare facilities out there, which is it's a very good thing. So we need to see, a lot of women going into, being doctors, and of course, taking care of our patients, right? And then the margin of outperformance is that the studies consistently show higher patient satisfaction and better communication from female nurses and midwives, which is something that I have just mentioned right now, that some of the females out there, they make sure that the communication, is set out clear to a patient, rather than just giving you notes and not knowing what to do, right? They will set it out clear for you, set standards in terms of how you need to take your medication, how you need to take care of yourself. The medium of instruction that you need is being shown to you the way that you need it, because doctors they are also taught that the best patient is, of course, the patient, right? So you need to listen to them in terms of what they're saying. So one of the examples that female nurses are more likely to adhere to best practices for medication safety and patient advocacy. Right, so female nurses are more likely to adhere to best practices for medication safety and patient advocacy. And I know that there are a lot of males out there who would, go against this statement and say, you know what, I have been around in this practice, and to tell you, women are the worst in this. But of course, they will have their own reason into why they're saying that. But we know. Right.
Well, it is kind of true. When you look at the female nurses that we currently have right now, not because they're going there for the passion that they have for helping people and making sure that people stay safe. You just see that right now people are going into becoming nurses just for the sake of the fact that, at least they got tola chelete and I want to have to stay in the job line and go look for employment for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then one thing I've noticed is that they've literally lost the passion of helping people, and which is one of the main reasons why we even have nurses. The whole point is to help people, and helping people needs empathy. And right now, a lot of nurses actually lack empathy.
Yeah.
Grown and the ones who are quarter to retirement, they lack empathy.
Yeah, so it speaks to some of, the love and the passion that you have for your job, right? Because patients can be, difficult people. So if you have the passion, it's going to make life and your job as simple as it can. But on the second one is HR, which is the human resource and people management. That is where women outpower men. So why women excel in this is they say women often demonstrate superior interpersonal conflict resolution, and organizational skills. Right, so that is why you find most women in HR, because when it comes to conflict resolution in terms of what is happening in the organization as a whole, they are the right people and the right persons to go to in terms of coming up with problem-solving skills. So that is what they are saying right here in terms of outperforming men, which is a human resource and people management. And I know that there are a lot of people who can attest to this, to say in a company that I have worked in, when we have women in the HR department, a lot of the things they get solved very quickly and, of course, eligibly, so that people can work in a more safer and, of course, a good environment working space. So the margin of the outperformance here, it says women dominate in HR leadership roles globally, tend to be more effective at employee engagement and retention. So when it comes to employee engagement, because you know that the Employers Act has a lot of things, and some of the employees do not understand some of the rules that they need to adhere to when they are in the company. So HR management, if it's a woman, they will just give you into detail into what is it that you need to do. But of course, I know there's someone out there who would beg to differ in terms of, yes, that woman who is in HR department in my company, my brother, she's giving me the hard time. But of course, you have your own reason, they have their own reason. But now when you put the policies in the table, they're going to state a different matter. So an example in this one is that companies with women-led HR teams often have a better workplace culture matrix. Right? Companies with women-led HR teams often have a better workplace culture matrix. And we know that a lot of women in power, they have said this, that if you give us the role of being leaders, we have seen a patriarchy from history that they have came in and ruined some of the most, precious moments of living in a good space, or precious moments that can lead into a good place, whether it's a company, whether it's a country. But wherever there is patriarchy, they always at war. But were we going to have a war if women were in power back in the days? And we know that the answer will still be no. Right? And the third one, where women outpower men, is the primary and early childhood education. Primary and early childhood education. Why women excel in this is patience, emotional sensitivity, and ability to nurture development are key. Right? Patience, emotional sensitivity, and the ability to nurture development are key. Hence, we see in most daycares, they are run by women. It's even rare to see a man running a daycare, because when it comes to early nature development, that is where women excel and they outperform men. Men just want the finished product. Mkhulise, then I will do the rest. Right? So the margin of outperformance right here is that female educators consistently receive higher evaluations from both parents and students in early childhood settings. Female educators consistently receive higher evaluations from both parents and the student in the early childhood settings. I mean, on this one, yes, it is debatable, because on the modern day world, when you look into the boy and the girl child, growing up and as fast as they can in terms of, being in the education itself, it has been proven that, of course, females grow, faster than boys. Right, so the education itself, they have seen that when it comes to nurturing, and of course, when you mold, a boy child, a male, presence is needed in that child. So we need more male educators. Yes, you can have female educators, but do not fill the school with only female educators. But because the male, they also give that male figure, right? So it's something that should not supposed to be taken away from these boys when they are growing up. So that is the margin of outperformance. But of course, if you have something on your mind and you would like to share that with us, please do so right there on YouTube. So an example for this one is that female teachers are often more successful in fostering inclusive, safe, and supportive learning environments. Female teachers are often more successful in fostering inclusive, safe, and supportive learning environments. So, of course, I would want to hear, because some of us, we have kids who go to school, and when we go to school, we see that their performance is growing because of, having female teachers, in their environment. I don't know. What is your sentiment on that?
Well, for me, it is a yes, but I also feel like also having male teachers is pretty good, man. Yeah. Because I remember the primary school that I went to, so the first sir as you know, as we call them in primary, or meneer, got introduced later on. And it was pretty fascinating, man, especially because I went to a school that was like female led. Even the administration, the only men that you would find in the school were basically the ones who were cleaning. But otherwise, you would not find any other male person within the teaching department. And it was pretty amazing because I think that also having men now venturing into the teaching department is good. Because there's some things that boy childs feel a bit insecure about, especially talking to a female teacher with. Now you're talking about your body transitioning. As a female teacher, is some things that I cannot explain to a male child that would need a male teacher to explain. So the fact that it's now all exclusive and you find also male teachers in primary school, I think it's pretty fascinating. I just hope that it will also become much more broader and you'd also find male daycare teachers, which would be pretty amazing if that could happen, hey?
And of course, when we bring it home right here, there is an article, of course, that was published which stated that why having both male and female teachers is a good idea for schools, right? In South Africa, 1 in 5 teachers in the foundation phase, roughly from ages 6 to 9, is male. This is consistent with a global trend that see men being more likely to teach adolescents than young children. A lack of male teachers for young children has become the focus of growing body of research internationally. Typically, the research has examined the experiences of male educators and explanation for their absence. This work has appeared amid a global gender equity movement and adjacent to calls for greater female representation in the fields of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and of course in senior managerial positions. So in South Africa, research focusing on male teachers has emerged alongside recent calls to increase the involvement of men in the lives of young children. Around 43% of children under the age of 5 live without a biological father. Here, young children observations of men as caring are particularly limited. And this goes back to some of the studies that were done in the US. And there's an author called Richard Reeves who spoke about the male inequality that is happening in the country, that they are seeing the scourge of, the inequality between men and women, because they see that the education system is against the young boys, and they have seen rapidly that girls, they perform 5 times and 10 times better than young boys when they are in the foundation phase, because boys, they need much time so that they can groom themselves and of course get that much understanding, because some of the parts of their brain, they take time to grasp some of the things. So the education between a male and female should be different, and they have argued that boys should have more time in school than girls. So because they have seen that in terms of graduating, a lot of boys, they are, of course, facing a lot of dropouts, and amid to them, being at home, not having a male figure, and going to school, not also having a male teacher, it causes some of disturbance in the education as well. But of course, these are some of the things that when you go in and just make your research, you would see the primary and early childhood education in both kids, right? So another one that women outperform men is the public relations and communication. So why women excel right here is that they have strong verbal skills, empathy, and social awareness help women craft more effective messaging. So women excel in public relation and communication because they have strong verbal skills, empathy, and social awareness. It helps them to craft more effective messaging out there. So the margin of outperformance here is that women are more likely to succeed in client retention and reputation management roles in the PR. Right? Women are more likely to succeed in client retention and reputation management roles in PR. So, example is that the top performing PR professionals and crisis managers are disproportionately female. Top performing PR professionals and crisis managers are disproportionately females, right? So in the public relations and communication, that is where we see that women are outperforming men, right? And then also another one, which is the last one, is psychology and therapy. Why women excel in this one is that empathy, active listening, and emotional insight make women exceptionally effective therapists. So empathy, active listening, and emotional insight make these women exceptionally effective therapists. So the margin of outperformance right here is that female therapists often build stronger therapeutic alliances, leading to better outcomes for the clients. So we have seen it, of course, across when it comes to psychology, and many of them being in the field are women. Yes, we do have men, but of course, when it comes to psychology, it is to be differentiated into how do we find a distinctive, because yes, we do not have the same brain as women and men. So in psychology itself, it explains which part of the brain responds stronger when it comes to male and female. So example here, it says many studies report that female therapists have lower patient dropout rates and higher satisfaction scores. And of course, you might be asking yourself, why is that, right? Studies, they report that female therapists have lower patient dropout rates and higher satisfaction scores. I mean, for someone who has, attended therapy, maybe some of them they will tell you that yes, active listening is a thing, and they have experienced it when they are with women. So with men, it's something that we are going to also find out later into, okay, what is it that causes a lot of patients to drop out on their therapist? Maybe they're being judged, maybe they're being looked awfully, and things like that. But we will never know until we find the right answers. But yeah, very interesting that the studies that are being made out there, and of course we're still highlighting women out there in power who are making bold moves, whether in business or any field, as we're still commemorating and showing them love in this Women's Month. And of course, as I mentioned, that if you know any women that you would love to give a shout out and of course highlight right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, please do show and tell us about that woman. Maybe it's a woman who you know who has a business in your township, who owns a company, and of course is a leader, and you know what, they are doing a lot in their community. They are movers and shakers, of course, in their community, right? So I want to hear from you right there on YouTube by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. 4 minutes past 8, it is the time, and of course I want to hear some of your sentiments in terms of the conversations that we are having right here in studio. And if you want to dial us in, the number to do that is 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. That is the number that you need to dial us in. So we're going to take a short break as we're going to let that information digest in you, and then if you are ready to share your sentiments, please do so. Feel free as you're taking a short break, and then we'll come back. We'll give you your daily bread, which is today in history, some of the celebrity birthdays, and looking into the national day that is being celebrated internationally, nationally, or anywhere globally. So let us take a short break. Please don't go anywhere.
Escape the ordinary and discover the extraordinary with Swellappeal Tours. Whether you're a group of friends or a family looking for a memorable getaway, Swellappeal Tours has you covered. Our all-inclusive tours take you to South Africa's most stunning destinations, from the scenic beauty of Mpumalanga to the vibrant life of Gauteng and the coastal charm of Durban.
Yeah, shopping loss of memory. Yes.
Wow.
This is Ted, the Wild Irish Comedian. You're watching Vooka Breakfast Show. Tune in every morning, Monday to Friday.
6 minutes past 8. It is the time, and of course, you're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show. Your daily dose of positivity, accompanied by that, of course, energetic start to your day. It is a Tuesday. Hashtag choose a mazketela. What is it that you're choosing? You're choosing yourself. You're choosing your partner. You're choosing your family member. Please let us know. And of course, if you don't want to share with us, it's fine as long as it is deep within your heart. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show is the hashtag to use, and of course across all social media platforms we are Vooka Breakfast Show on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. That is where we share our updates right here. So please do make sure that you stay with us. And the number to dial us in is 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Before the break, we were just going through some of the carriers that women outperform men. And I know that if you have just joined us, you would like to share some of your sentiments. Don't worry, you still have time, and of course all the time that you have until 10 o'clock to share your sentiments with us. And before the break, I promised that we're going to go through today in history, just to go through some of the significant memories that took place where it's in our country or outside our country, right? It is the 12th of August 2025, and you're asking yourself, what are some of the things that took place on this particular day, whether it's 50 years or 100 years or 1,000 back years later? So let's get straight into it. Starting off with the first one. In 1999, Shakira Records have first live album in New York City titled The MTV Unplugged. On August 12th, 1999, Shakira recorded her first live album, MTV Unplugged, at the Manhattan Center Studios in New York City, marking a pivotal moment in her career at Latin pop history. Performed entirely in Spanish, it was the first Unplugged episode by a Latina solo artist and helped launch her into the US mainstream. Released in 2000, the album featured acoustic renditions of hits like Ojos, Asi, and Ciega, Sodumuda, earning critical acclaim and Shakira's first Grammy Award for the Best Latin Pop Album. Very interesting things that took place. And then on the last one that we have right here, in 2021, Argentine soccer superstar Lionel Messi confirms signing a lucrative 2-year contract with French League champions Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, after leaving FC Barcelona. In August 2021, Lionel Messi signed a blockbuster 2-year contract with Paris Saint-Germain after leaving FC Barcelona due to financial constraints that prevented the club from renewing his deal. The PSG contract included a reported annual net salary of $41 million, a signing bonus close to $30 million, and additional earnings from image rights and fan tokens, potentially pushing his total compensation to around $75 million per year. The deal also featured an option for third year, placing Messi among the highest paid players in the world and aligning his salary with Neymar's, surpassing that of Kylian Mbappe. So very interesting stuff, and we know that Lionel Messi right now is in America, of course, continuing his football career and doing the most, of course. And so some of the inventions that we didn't highlight yesterday include and of course the gamers know it, but this is the invention that took place yesterday. So just to highlight it and give you more further information and detailed information about it for you to learn in terms of where it comes from. It is the Sony PlayStation. So the Sony PlayStation was conceived by engineer Ken Kutaragi, often called the father of the PlayStation, who initially worked on sound chips for Nintendo's consoles in the late 1980s. Sony and Nintendo collaborated on a CD-ROM add-on for the Super Nintendo. But the partnership collapsed when Nintendo chose Philips instead. Undeterred, Kutaragi pushed forward and Sony launched its own console, the PlayStation, in December 1994 in Japan. Globally, in 1995, it revolutionized gaming with its use of CD-ROMs, 3D graphics, and developer-friendly architecture, eventually becoming the first console to ship over 100 million units. Right? So, of course, man, thank you to Mr. Ken Kutaragi, because yes, this was, and I hope it considers one of the world's best innovations and inventions that we ever had right here. But yeah, very interesting, very, very interesting. So in terms of the calendar, what are we looking into?
Yes, man, that is very interesting. And of course, you know that we always keep you clued in and insightful when it comes to the number of days within the year and how many days we actually have left before we hit the year end and say goodbye 2025. Hello 2026. Now the number of days into the year. Today is we are marking the 224th day of the year, and if it was a leap year, we would be marking the 225th day within a leap year calendar. And then we also have 141 days remaining, and not forgetting that we also have 19 weeks remaining before we say goodbye 2025, hello 2026. And I guess it's also time for some of us to actually make sure that we hit the ground running and make sure that we crunched when it comes to some of the goals and achievements we plan to achieve before the year ends. But it does not end there. We're also celebrating International or National Day. And today we are celebrating a national day in the United States. Now this is called the National Presidential Joke Day. I don't know if this actually qualifies to Donald Trump because he lacks sense of humor. Now the National President Day is celebrated on every August on the 11th, honors the lighter side of U.S. presidents by spotlighting their intentional and unintentional humor. The day originated from a 1984 sound check gaffe by President Ronald Reagan, who joked, "I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever." We began bombing in 5 minutes, unaware the mic was live. Though conversational, the moment revealed the human side of leadership and inspired a tradition of celebrating a presidential wit, from Lincoln storytelling to Obama's dad jokes at the turkey ceremony. Now, I don't know, does Donald Trump even have those unintentional intentional jokes? But we'll never know because he's forever serious. Now, moving on, not forgetting that we're also celebrating celebrity birthdays. And if you also know somebody who's actually celebrating their birthday today, Vooka Nations, be sure to send us a voice note, a text, or hit us up on our YouTube comments. And you can send yourself a voice note text on 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. And today we are celebrating Zabjan's birthday, who was born on the 12th of August in 2004 and is turning 21 years today. He shares sketch comedy content in the form of POVs, dance performances, modeling content, and more. Digital content creator on TikTok and online social media personality who is best known for his self-titled account. He shares sketch comedy content in the form of PVOs, dance performances, modeling content, and more. He has gained more than 500,000 followers. Now, clearly it shows that you're doing something good, right? And then we're also celebrating Leah Pipes. Now, Leah Pipes was born on the 12th of August in 1988 and is turning 37 years today. Now, she made her acting debut in the TV series Angel, which aired in 2001. An American TV and television actress who starred on the series Life is Wild and in the 2009 slasher film Sorority Row. She also began playing Camille O'Connell on the originals in 2013. Now, we're also celebrating Yvette Nicole Brown. Brown. Now, Yvette Nicole Brown was also born on the 12th of August in 1971 and is turning 54 years old today. Her husband, Anthony Tony Davis, surprised her by bringing her father, Omar, who has Alzheimer's, to the altar. Actress who appeared on many popular TV shows, including Chuck, House, Boston Legal, and That 70s Shows. She starred in the NBC's cult comedy Community, CBS The Odd Couple, and later lent her voice to the Disney series Eleanor of Avalor. Now that is amazing, right? And then we also have another birthday coming up, and this one is for Imani Hakim. Now, Imani Hakim was born on the 12th of August in 1993 and is turning 32 years. Interesting fact, a vegan and enjoys painting in her free time. Actress who became known for her role in the sitcom Everybody Hates Chris. In 2014, she played the little character in the Gabby Douglas story. Now, that is amazing birthdays that everybody's celebrating, and I also hope that everybody will have a wonderful day. Don't forget to also send your birthday shout-outs to 060-493-3226. That is 060-493-3226, man. But as you know, it never ends there, as you always have something more inspirational and motivational for you. Now, our inspirational message for today says, focuses on positivity, resilience, and self-belief. Now, always remember that as much as life may throw you away on the side and never give you a fighting chance, you must always remember to focus on positivity, resilience, and belief. And our quote says, just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. So remember that as much as you slept, maybe with a broken heart the previous night, waking up on a very positive note will highlight how the rest of your day goes out. And I hope you guys will have a fantastic day with all that inspirational message and wonderful quote. Yes, Mo, what's the word of the day for today?
Yeah, so you know that each and every day we bring you a word of the day just to improve our spoken day-to-day vocabulary, right? So that we know what other words mean and what are the similar words that we can use, because each and every day you're looking to add on that vocabulary of yours to improve your communication with your friends or in your workplace in general. So that is what we bring you, which is something that is unique. And some of the words that we bring you right here are the words that you have never heard in your life. So let's get deeper into it in terms of what do we have in terms of our word of the day. It is, of course, the 12th of August, and our word is amphigory. Amphigory, right? So amphigory is spelled as follow, and it is a noun, which is a naming word. Amphigory is spelled as Amphigory. 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 So you're asking yourself, what does the word mean? But before we give you the meaning of the word, let's look into the similar words that we can find of this word. Similar words include gibberish, balderdash, blather, logorrhea, and babble. Similar words include gibberish, balderdash, blather, logorrhea, and babble, right? So the meaning of this word is a piece of writing, especially verse that appears meaningful but is actually nonsensical, right? A piece of writing, especially a verse that appears meaningful but is actually nonsensical, right? So sentence example in terms of how you would use the word is that his speech was a charming amphigory, eloquent, rhythmic, and utterly meaningless. Right? His speech was a charming amphigory, eloquent, rhythmic, and utterly meaningless. Right, so it's actually someone who's spent time, maybe building up on a verse, but it doesn't appear to make sense. In which, I think people who would relate to this are musicians, right? Maybe you are writing a verse that doesn't go anywhere, my friend.
And some people who would actually relate to these are mothers or parents.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'd have your child come back from school wanting to tell you an amazing story, yet the amfiggery that is happening right there means nothing and you are lost in translation.
Yeah. So that is the way. So people, yes, they would spend time in terms, of, forming like sentences and forming, just meaningful sentences. But this one is difficult to even break down because I'm just understanding that something appears meaningful, but it's
meaningless.
Right, but interesting, man. Our word is amfiggery. Maybe you know someone who has used it, or who you can describe using this word. Please do so by sharing it down on our comment section by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. So what we're gonna do right now is to let this word digest, and of course, if you have some sentiments and 2 cents you want to share regarding this word, please you will let us know as we take a short break. And of course, when we come back, we continue with our daily dose of positivity. So please don't go anywhere.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Kate Mnguni
On the Vooka
Breakfast Show. Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
All right, 22 minutes past 8. It is the time, and you're still with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Hope that wherever you are feeling warmer, because it's a little bit cold, but temperature it is going to change as the time goes on. Don't worry, we will keep you updated with our latest weather update. But before we went to the break, we were just going through some of the things that happened in history and the national days, celebrity birthdays, and of course, lastly, your word of the day, which is amfiggery. If you know what the word means, you can use a sentence for yourself out there. But 23 minutes past 8, and of course, as we have mentioned, since that Women's Month is something that we are highlighting, and we're going to highlight some of the women who have made a huge impact in our lives, in our country, and in the struggle that our country have faced in the past years. So right here on my screen, I have something that I just want to share in terms of the South African women who have made significant significant strides in positions of power, yet challenges remain in achieving full gender equality in leadership roles. So the historical context of this is that the struggle of women's rights in South Africa has deep roots, highlighted by the historic 1956 Women's March, where over 20,000 women protested against apartheid laws. This event marked a pivotal moment in the fight for gender equality and laid the groundwork for future advancement. So the current representations is the parliamentary presence, which as of recent statistics, women occupy 46% of parliamentary seats in South Africa, making it one of the countries with the highest representation of women in government globally. So, in the local government, in municipal councils, women hold about 39% of mayoral positions, showing progress but still below parity. In corporate leadership, despite women making up a significant portion in the workforce, they remain underrepresented in executive roles. For instance, only one of the top 40 JSE listed companies had a female CEO as of the recent reports, right? Only one of the top 40. So some of the notable women leaders that we know and we always highlight. Some of you, maybe you have learned about them in schools as follows. So several women have played crucial roles in shaping what South Africa is today in the political landscape and advocating for gender equality. So those women include Mrs. Anna Kachalia, a prominent activist and a member of the ANC. She was instrumental in organizing women's marches and advocating for women's rights. And then Ms. Lillian Ngoyi, known as the mother of black resistance. She was a key figure in the anti-apartheid movement and the first woman elected to the ANC Executive Committee. The next one we have Christine Ramon, currently the Chief Financial Officer of Anglo Gold Ashanti. She exemplifies women's leadership in the corporate sector, right? Last one we have is Mampele Rampele, a former president of Agang SA and a respected figure in medicine and activism. She has contributed significantly to discussions on gender and equality. And as we know that this month it is, of course, for highlighting those women, and how do we now play back and bring back the significance to the modern women, to say these women have played a very huge role into what apartheid brought, into what the struggle brought. How do we now redefine and put the struggle, put the systems that they have used to end the struggle into today's day? Because we know that South Africa is facing high unemployment, and amongst that high unemployment rate is a lot of young girls being unemployed, of course. And we know that there are challenges ahead of us, and as a country we need to work together to face those challenges. And despite these advancements, women in South Africa still face significant barriers to achieving equal representation in leadership roles. The Women Empowerment and Gender Equality Bills aim for 50% representation in decision-making positions, but actual numbers remain below this target. The ongoing struggle for gender equality highlights the need for continued advocacy and support for women in all sectors of society. In conclusion, while South African women have made remarkable progress in gaining power and influence, the journey towards full equality continues, requiring persistent efforts from all sectors of society. It means that as a society and as a country, we need to work together to make sure that both women and men, they are catered equally in everything that they do. But we know that women empowerment is something that is being pushed, and we would like to see those women in power, making sure that radical changes are brought in our communities, because I know that you know some of the powerful women in your community, and they're also part of your life who are making biggest changes. But yeah, some of them that I know, they are in my family, my friend, I know some women through some of my friends who have been doing big things. And those women also came into the show and highlighted the things that they do. And we really appreciate, them taking their time to come right here and just show us. So I think when it comes to women being empowered, is something that it's a drive that needs to be narrated very, very carefully, so that all sectors of society can be where they need to be. But I don't know, what are your sentiments in terms of, women being significant in our country?
Having women being significant in South Africa is something that I feel like should stay there for quite a while, because of a whole lot of things that are happening regarding women, especially the crime and the high rise on a monthly, weekly, daily, yearly basis of GBV that we have in the country. We had our president on Saturday speak about basically pushing women to be in power and making sure that women strive. But I feel like, as for me personally, and maybe some women in South Africa feel like he also needed to basically highlight how our nation is actually going to protect the women that we currently have in South Africa, both young and old, because unfortunately we had an incident in El Dorado Park where a dad raped his daughter, beat her up, and the daughter ended up passing away. What exactly is our country and the men of the country doing to protect the future queens, the future princesses of South Africa? So this is something that really needs to be highlighted on. As much as we must say that, yes, having women in power is an amazing thing, and it shows that women can actually do so much, but also, are we protecting the woman that we are also supposed to put in power, or the woman we want to see in power, is one question that we need to answer as a nation, and a question that our president also needs to answer.
Yeah, and we know that Mr. President, was speaking right there in Limpopo, in a keynote address, speaking about the importance of Women's Day and highlighting the power and, of course, their importance in our society. But, of course, man, some of the stats, they have been shown, because I think they have been growing rapidly. And the statistics are showing that some of the women, they have, to be encouraged to be and have political careers in their lives. And by the likes of Ms. Helen Zila, Balegambete, of course, in the ANC National Executive Committee, and, of course, in the DA, they have shown that, women in power and as women as leaders, they can make a significant shift in the communities and in South Africa as a whole, as we are fighting so many things and crises in our country. But in 2016, there was a stat that was released, which is a 9 financial consensus of the municipalities. And we saw that 7 in 10 mayors in Limpopo were women, right? So 70% of that percentage, 7 in 10 mayors in Limpopo were women. And when you look at other provinces, when you look at Northwest, 52%, and then Eastern Cape, 47%, and as a country as a whole, it was 39%. So that is a rapid growth from back then, right, when women were denied to be in power. In Mpumalanga, it was 38%, Northern Cape, 38%, Gauteng, 33%, Free State, 29%, and KwaZulu-Natal is 25%. Western Cape was 24%. So we're still, waiting for the recent stats into how it is looking like when it comes to, mayors being women in our provinces. We know that there has been a huge slide of change as the new coalition, was formed, which is the GNU. So with the GNU, it's so many parties being involved, and none of those parties, they have a leader who is a woman, except the DA, right? So those are some of the things that when we look into it, that okay, these percentages of the municipal mayoral posts were filled by women. So it's a stats that we need to look deep into in terms of moving forward, and knowing that there is so much positivity, there is radical change in our countries when it comes to women being in power. So South Africa has been stated that they have made progress towards the realization of a non-sexist society, but there is still a way to go before the aspiration of those who took part in the Women's Day March in 1956 are fully realized. Right? So those are some of the things when you look deeper into the history of the women who made those significant changes, right? They are highlighted. And how do we use what they have said, what they have put in place in terms of the system into the modern day standard, right? So, yeah, in terms of women in power, we know that the trackings are still being done in terms of the statistics, so that other women out there, they also can be encouraged and motivated to be in business, wherever the fields, right? Whether in politics, because we saw in politics right now, it's a little bit shaky in terms of South Africa being ready to be led by women. And I know that a lot of women will attest to say, no, South Africa is really ready to be led by a woman. But for some people, they argue and they disagree with this whole notion. But of course, your disagreement should come with some of the solution into why do you disagree, right? But yeah, with that being said, we'll also like to hear from you in terms of what do you think. But with that being said, because this is a time where, you know, we are waiting for some of our guests to join us and have these wonderful conversations. But let us take a short break, and of course, when we come back, we are going to, you know, go straight and look into some of highlighting these women. So this is your latest weather update, just to keep you updated on what is going on this morning. So please don't go anywhere. All right, I hope that you got that weather update, just to keep you updated into what is going on this morning, as the temperature is slightly going to increase around the afternoon. So please do make sure that you keep well updated into what you want to wear if you're someone who is going to go out later in the day. But with that being said, man, welcome back. You're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show. You know that this is your energetic start to your day, accompanied by that daily dose of positivity. Located in the heart of Johannesburg, it is Soweto, Dobsonville, and Blinko Studios. That is where we are streaming live. And as the Vooka Breakfast Show, you know that this month we're still highlighting women in power, and of course we were celebrating Women's Day in Saturday. A lot of women went out there to hold seminars and give those powerful talk, so that women can also encourage each other to make bold moves within their families, their businesses, and in their communities. And we'll also like to give a shout out to all of those women, you know, who have made significant moves in the communities. But with that being said, we know that the most important, of course, a keynote address was from the president when he spoke with the women in Nkowankwa Stadium in Tzaneen, in the Greater Tzaneen municipality, right? And a nation that works for all. So Women's Day was about building resilient economies for all in this for 2025. It is the theme as we are heading, of course, for the G20 summit. It is going to highlight some of those things. But of course, it is very important to also hear what the president had to say if you missed his speech at Saturday around 8 o'clock in the morning. But this is what the president had to say.
The Macheron. Dumela. Goeiemorgen. Good morning. Lochani. Thank you so much. Program directors, the women of South Africa, and better still, the beautiful women of South Africa. As I was coming in, I was met by the Minister, Chikunga, Premier Ramatuba, and MEC Mawungu. And one of the things that struck me, and I told them that you are all looking so beautiful, but I hadn't seen beauty yet. I had to come into this hall to see all of you women looking so beautiful. And we men are not supposed to see this, but we are also so well dressed, so beautifully dressed. So it's a real pleasure for me to be here, and I extend my greetings to the ministers who are here present, the deputy ministers who are also here, the premier of our province, and the MECs who work with her, the executive mayor of the Mopani district, Her Majesty Queen Masalanabo Mujaji, traditional leaders who are also here present, community leaders and religious leaders, and of course representatives of various political parties and the residents of the Limpopo and the Mopani district, and all fellow South Africans. This is a very special day. It's a day on which we celebrate the women of our country, but it is also a day on which we remember the bravery and the courage of the 20,000 women who marched on the union buildings where I work today, demanding the scrapping of the passes which the apartheid government had decided should be carried by the women of our country. They marched in their thousands from all over the country to make that demand. And they wrote their demands on reams of paper, which they delivered at the union buildings. And we have symbolized that march at the union buildings by putting two rocks. One big rock, which is like a bowl, and another rock on top, which is the grinding rock or medium. And that is where Imbokoto imagery comes in. And where we say, Watinta Bafazi, Watinta Imbokoto. And each time we have a state visit, I make it a point as we go down the stairs to the amphitheater of the union buildings to explain to those heads of states who come here what the union building symbolizes. The union buildings, other than being the seat of government, is also a memorial of how the women of our country stood up against a mighty government of apartheid and opposed it and marched on the union buildings. So today we celebrate that day. Sinitsakisa swinene ku ri ni va la ankuwankuwa hi ta yimbelela hi ta vulavula hi mintirho ya vanhu vavasati va hina la South Africa. Ha mi khensa ka hinkwaswo leswi mi swi endlaka. Hi n'wina va mhani va rixaka, i n'wina va sesi va rixaka, i n'wina va kokwani va rixaka. Ha mi khensa swinene, ni tsaka swinene loko ni mi vona mi ri laha hinkwenu namuntlha.
That is where, our president was very, very excited to see some of the women right there in Tzaneen, giving his keynote address, of course. And of course, some of those included the key themes and highlights of why Mr. President was there. So, the first one was, of course, honoring the women's legacy, because he paid tribute to more than 20,000 women who marched to the union buildings in 9 August 1956 to protest the apartheid pass laws, honoring them as Izimbogoto, the rocks, helpers, anchors, and the symbol of empathy and the compassion. Another highlight includes that the second one was a theme, the building resilient economies for all. He emphasized that promoting women's participation in leadership and the economy, including access to decent work, entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, and care infrastructure. And the third one was progress and statistics. He highlighted that over a quarter of top managers in the private sector are women. South Africa ranked second among the G20 countries for female representation, and 42% of MPs are women, surpassing many developed nations around. And then the fourth one, it spoke to the economic empowerment initiatives, mentioned, of course, the government's policies and the programs supporting women, including the Employment Equity Act, increasing the women's workforce participation, and women-owned SMMEs receiving support via the National Empowerment Fund, the Small Enterprise Finance Agencies, and the National Infrastructure Fund. So that keynote address, it included all of those key aspects right there, because now we are heading to the G20, and it's nice that they also mentioned that 42% of women in leadership, 42% of women, they are part of the leadership, looking ahead of what the country is looking into. But with that being said, man, if you want to share some of your sentiments and some of the key addresses and highlights and themes that you had from the president's speech, you can share it with us on hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. And also you can dial us in on 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. And as promised, that some of the conversation that we're going to have, they include guests from all over right here in SA. So once again, good morning to you. You know that on a Tuesday we fuel your soul with inspiration, right? So we are taking it into another level. Imagine being just 15 years old and already changing the narrative of your community, not only with leadership, but with words that touch hearts and stir minds. Our guest that is going to be joining us shortly right now, her name is Lerato Angelina Mokoena, a gifted poet, writer, and a youth leader from Letlhabile in the Northwest Province. She's the proud author of Inkstains and Heartbeats, winner of the Amesa School's Poetry Competition, and a force in student leadership. From local to provincial level, Lerato is not just chasing dreams, she is building bridges for others to cross. So for today, please buckle up, because we're about to find out how a teenager is already writing history, one poem and one leadership decision at a time. So we're going to be welcoming her right now shortly, and I just want to confirm if she can hear us. A very good morning, Lerato. How are you doing this morning? Can you hear me? She's muted. Okay. While we're still waiting for her, because she is live, we can see her. The only thing that we just waiting for is for her to unmute herself, then we get deeper into the conversation with her. Because if you have a young one at home and you would like them to get inspiration from this conversation, please save it for them when they get back to school. From school, of course. But yeah, I think right now she is able to hear us. A very good morning to you, Lerato. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, sir. I'm doing good. Yourself?
How say?
I am good. Thank you so much for taking your time, of course, to join us, because we can see that you are still at school. And of course, we were just asking, that little time of yours to share with our viewers and our audience at home. So we have just read a lot about you, and of course, it is your own story. You have written it yourself. But for someone who doesn't know you, can you just please give them a brief introduction of, what do you do?
Okay, I'm Angelina Lagato Mukwena. I'm a poet, I'm an author, and I'm also a leader. Not only at the school level and also at the provincial level. I'm a leader by passion. I'm a poet by passion. I write stories to heal people, inspire people, and build people, because I believe that one can make change, and one change can start as a small person. Even dynamites do make changes.
That is very powerful. For someone as young as you, to speak those profound words, it is very interesting. And I know that whoever is watching, they will feel inspired by some of the things that you have done. But many people your age, they are still figuring out what they want to do. But you have already published a book and won poetry awards. Where did this love for words begin for you?
Well, the love of words, it started as a bad thing. Not really bad, but then my late favorite teacher died when I was in grade 7. And the only way I could go to the memorial service, I had to provide something, a speech or a poetry. Then I wrote a poem. Then I started reciting it at the memorial service. I saw people were interested in it. I saw people were healed. I saw people had smiles on their faces, even though we lost an angel. So from then on, I decided to inspire people. I decided to show people that not only gifts or some things can they can heal you, but even a piece of a word or a piece of poetry or a verse can help you or heal you, inspire you. It can build life in a broken soul.
Now that's very inspirational words, hey? Building life in a broken soul. So I just want to trace back a little bit. So when you wrote the poem for your late teacher for the memorial service, was it the first poem you wrote? If it wasn't, what was the first poem that you wrote, and what exactly were you going through when you wrote that piece?
Well, to be honest, it was the first poem I wrote in my life, I'm sure, because I don't remember if I was writing any poems. At that moment, my life was apart. It was broken because he was one of my favorite teachers. He was one of the people that built me. He was one of the people that made me who I am. And I'm so grateful for his death, even if it is not a thing you should be grateful for, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be a poet. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be a leader like this. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't want to heal people or inspire people or build a happy place in a broken heart.
Yeah. And of course, we know that each and everything that we do in our lives, we draw inspiration from somewhere. And you have drawn it, from someone who was dear and close to you, which is very, very powerful, right? But we know that as someone who is a leader, people will always want to take something from you. And of course, if you are an author, people will want to take something from you and learn from the words that you have written down yourself. But now, when you wrote the book Ink, Stains and Heartbeats, what message did you hope your readers, especially other young people, would take from it?
Well, I wanted young people, especially teenagers, to know that you're not alone. Literally, every teenager is facing what another teenager is facing. It came to my realization as I was writing this book. I managed to see that, especially as a leader, I'm working with young people, so they share stories to me because I'm their safe space. They can trust me. So I realized that every teenager is facing something that another teenager is facing, and teenagers often think that they are alone, and they are not alone. That's what I wanted to amplify in my book. I wanted to show them, Ukuti, they are not alone. We are in this together. We are facing this together. Even our mothers or our parents, they do not understand this. But eventually they will understand that other generations are passing and things have changed, you see.
Yeah, beautiful, man. For someone as young as you, man, to spew that knowledge, it's something else, I have to tell you. And I think, people who are watching, they would also attest to this, right? But of course, as much as I am your minier, right, as you say, maybe teaching you and, of course, watching you navigate your life through your schoolwork, we know that balancing yourself as a young person so that you cannot face so much burnout, because you're an author, you're a leader. But some of the things that I see right here is you're a school president, a provincial learner representative, and a published poet. So how do you balance your academics, leadership duties, and your writing without having to get tired and get that burnout?
Okay, well, it's a destiny. It's a destiny. Destiny doesn't tire you, to be honest. How do I balance these things? I do balance them because being a leader is in blood. Being a poet or a writer is in blood. So those things do not often take much of my time, but sometimes if they take my time, I'd be reading in midnight so that my academics, they do not lag. I keep on being a star student. And then writing, I also write during midnight or early hours because that's when my mind is more conducive. That's when my mind is thinking critically and I can resonate with my points accurately. And then being a leader, it doesn't have time, to be honest. I can be a leader. I'm a leader right now. They can call me right now and say I have some duties. I always have duties, so I make sure that even if I have a duty, my books and my poetry stuff or my writing stuff, they are already good. They are already prepared. Yes.
Oh, Batong Lerato, critical thinker, such a young age, man. At your age, I couldn't even spell critical. But here you are, you're showing us that it is possible. And as someone, who have written some of the pieces in poetry, and that poetry can, be powerful enough to change people's lives and to change their hearts. Has anyone ever told you how your words have impacted their life, and how did that make you feel?
Well, many people do tell me that. There was this other time we had an awareness here at school and I had to make a poem about breast cancer. So one of the ladies approached me and she told me how that poem impacted her life since one of her closest people died because of breast cancer. So it shows ukuthi poetry is not just a piece. Poetry is meaningful. Poetry can heal a broken heart within. Poetry can bring life again because the way she was speaking and the way she was in pain, you could see this was a deep memory in her memory, or let me say, what can I say? But then let me just say memory in her heart. And the person that she lost was one of the closest person. So I choose with my poetry does heal people. Also referring back to my late teacher thing, it showed me could see that even if we are now sad, even if we are crying, but when a poet recites her poem, everything can change. Situations can change.
Now that's amazing because most people find healing through words instead of finding healing through other things. And we also saw that you won a poetry competition last year. So can you take us through that experience? How was it like competing in a provincial level, and obviously seeing other kids from different schools also there competing? How was the experience? Was it a nerve-wracking experience? How did you survive the nerves? And obviously, how was it when you came out on top as the competition winner?
Okay, firstly, there are two competitions that I won, but then let me talk about the provincial one. Okay, it started at the second level, né? So at the second level, it was so easy because I just don't know why it was easy. I say it was easy, but then it was so easy. Then at the provincial level, I was a bit nervous. Yeah, I was a bit nervous, but I believed in myself because my ability to write a poem about maths. I mixed maths and love. It was a nice poem that talked about mathematics and love, how both of those things can impact our lives. It was a nice thing. My experience was not that bad. I had no competitors, to be honest. I didn't feel them. I didn't feel the nerve. I didn't feel like I won't be winning. It's not my thing. Even though they wanted me not to win, I did. Because it was a challenge, but then I did. It was a nice experience. Yeah.
Yeah, we are also happy to find out that you had a nice experience. You know, it didn't even lead you to, quit or, and just let things be. But of course, the things that you are doing, and for people who are watching right now and listening, surely they're asking themselves, who is this young lady that we are speaking about. But let me just go through some of her leadership roles that took place in 2025, right? So Lerato was elected president of Ikatisong Secondary School in 2025, elected deputy president of the Tolwane Second in 2025, elected Leo Madibeng RCL executive representative in 2025, elected Bojanala District RCL Secretary, elected Northwest Provincial Secretary. Wow. You just make me feel so small right here.
Yay.
With some of the things that I have done when I was your age. But, looking ahead, we know that, of course, as we are celebrating Women's Month, and we also want and vouch for you to become those powerful women in our country who will bring radical changes. You are only 15, but your journey is already inspiring. Where do you see your writing and leadership taking you in the next coming years?
Okay, well, the writing, I want to be that one person that will help other people publish their books. I want to be that one person that will lead people into the righteous way. So my leadership skills, maybe in 5 years' time, I want to see myself owning a book shop or owning a book something that will accommodate all local writers, because I feel like local people do not get the enough exposure. So I want to be the one that will bring exposure to them. I want to be the one that will break the curse that Kasi people, they do not have a future. Kasi people, they do not have talent. I want to be the one that will help them be exposed to the world with my leadership skills. I want to be the one that will help all these learners in the schools who are not seen as people. I want to make them people.
That is very powerful. You know, Lerato, as much as we would like to spend the whole day with you, but that is impossible. With that being said, you know what? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And you know what? We wish you all the best with all the works that are coming in the future.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. So if people want to get a copy of your book, where can they find it?
Well, they can contact me on my social handles. I believe you have them. Yeah, they will get me there.
All right. Thank you and enjoy your rest of your day.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Ah, man. That was Lerato Angelina Mokwena, and she is a living proof that your age does not define your impact. Right here on a Tuesday, yes, we choose inspiration and we also choose, impact. Right.
And of course, also choosing the young women of South Africa who are shaping basically their lives and making sure that their peers also know what a bright future can look like.
Yeah.
Right?
So right there on YouTube, I've got a comment from Priscilla Maimane saying, "Danke Mogel, hashtag Lerato, you rock." And we need to support these young ones. You know, as much as the president was speaking on Women's Day in terms of highlighting our women and making sure that we give them all of the necessary support to be wherever they need to be, right? So, of course, man, with that being said, we are still preparing for our second guest. What we're going to do right now is to take a short break, and then she is going to be with us, and of course, sharing much that we need to do. But okay, I've just gotten, an announcement that she is with us. So what I'm going to do right now is let's fix our things right here on our side, and then we will get deep into the conversation, right?
Yes, Mo.
Right? So with that break, let us take a short break, and then we'll come back. We will get deep into the conversation. So please do not go anywhere.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketsuke Mguni
On the Vooka
Vooka Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you, and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now, I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
Yes, welcome back, Vooka Nations. Now, I hope you guys are still tuning in so that you can stay mesmerized and, of course, know about the different and amazing guests that we have. And right now, we'll be going into an interview with Rabethu Mafisa. Now, Rabethu Mafisa is the founder and head therapist of East Mobile Spa, a wellness brand rooted in mobility, accessibility, and holistic healing. Her journey began in the classroom of Hillview High School and blossomed at Camelot International, where she earned multiple diplomas in health and skincare therapy, including prestigious certifications from CIBTAC and CIDESO, SCO. Oh my God, I'm just fumbling over here. And yes, her career path reflects of a spirit and adventure, and of course excellence and the amazing work that she does, because she started out at Mango Day Spa in 2010, worked aboard Carnival Line Cruise in 2011, returned to South Africa to join Sheer, Touch Spa and Houghton in 2012, and then launched East Mobile Spa in 2014. Now you see, that's a very spa-full journey, if I may say. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. I can't complain. And yourself?
No, I'm doing fantastic. I can see you've had a very spa-full journey, hey, man. It's been very nice, and you even went cruising there in the oceans. I'm like, okay, now this is definitely one job I also wish I had.
Yeah, I had to, I had to maximize my experience. I had to maximize the education that I had received, and it gave me the opportunity to travel. So why not, So I was like, yeah, this is something that I had to do.
I'm definitely sure you did almost everything. Or no, East Mobile Spa up there in the US or somewhere in Thailand. So I see you going places, man. I do.
Thank you. Yeah, no. Born, the sky's the limit. Hey, you're
Yeah,
only limited by
definitely
your
is.
imagination. So, like, who knows?
Yeah, who knows, eh? Would you mind also giving us a brief introduction, besides the one that I gave you, about yourself and obviously what your wonderful spa does?
Oh, okay. So, like you mentioned, I'm Reabetu Mafisa. I'm from Pretoria. So, after matric, I studied at Camelot Day Spa, and which then led me, after all that experience that you have mentioned, that one day a friend of mine just approached me and says, why don't we start a mobile spa? So we started a mobile spa, yes, in 2014. So with Ease Mobile Spa, we cater to individuals, we cater to groups, we cater to corporate clients. So in Pretoria, Johannesburg, and some surrounding areas. So large Gauteng area we cover, and we go out to clients, we pack up our equipment, and we deliver services at their locations. That's what we do.
Yeah, that is very interesting, because for one to hear you saying, that's what you do, and of course the inspiration that starts with you, of course, starting this whole. Because I just want us to rewind to the early days, of course, because from Hillview High to Camelot International, what was that first moment you realized that wellness is actually my calling? Was it passion, opportunity, or was it both?
It's interesting. I think it was a little bit kind of a fluke, because I remember sitting in the hall in matric. They had like a career day. Somebody came to speak to us about a possible career in massage. So that just piqued my interest, and I was like, okay, sounds like something that I possibly want to do. I, for some reason, growing up, I've always knew that I was going to work with my hands, So, and I've given a few massages when I was younger, and I was told that, oh, okay, no, that's actually good what you're doing. So then when that lady was speaking to her, I was like, it just piqued my interest. Then I went to the open day at their school, and I just registered myself, and I've been in this career ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty amazing. Seeing that you're not one of the traditional spas that people are used to, where you literally just book an appointment and you go to the spa venue itself, but instead you are a mobile spa. So I want to ask, how do you ensure sanitation and hygienes when it comes to your mobile spa setup?
So basically, when we pack up for an appointment, we don't necessarily use the same equipment, let's say linen, especially when it comes to maybe like nail clippers. Like you'll see in some of my videos, I pack my nail clippers inside a bag, because after I sanitize them at home, they go into a sterile UV cap, and from a sterile UV cap, they go into a little packet, so that even when we travel, they stay clean and sterilized. So, I think that is one way that my clients know that these things have just been used exclusively to them. And again, with towels, you pack towels just for that appointment. So each appointment has its own like basket that you carry, then you don't really cross contaminate. So still very clean, still very sanitized. So yes, you get that as part of the experience. Smash or fresh smelling towels, I wanted to say, and clean equipment. So that's how basically we ensure.
Yeah, and of course, when you speak about experience, it's something that when you package it yourself, it speak to. Do people come to you or you go to the people? And we see that East Mobile Spa is all about bringing wellness to the people rather than waiting for them to come to you. How did you come up with that model, man? Like, what fears did you have to overcome to launch it?
So coming up with that model, when we sat down with that friend of mine, first of all, we did not have finances to say that, we can go and pay rent at a certain place where we can run our services out of, so that's how that idea came about. We were like, actually, we can target groups, social clubs, we can target different kind of events. That was the idea, that we would go to them. So then eventually, I always say that the market lets you know what it needs. Then obviously individuals started to inquire more and more and more. So yes, individual clients are part of our biggest business model. But coming up with the model, that's how, it came about, And people use mobile spa services for different reasons. Like I've got elderly clients who no longer drive, and you know what, people are busy with their lives and they don't necessarily have the time to take their mom, their grandmother out to a spa, to the salon. So it's easier to call somebody to come at home and give them service, to cut their nails, to maintain their feet, or to give them a little massage without having them to making the effort to go somewhere, and we know old people don't like to move around a lot. So, and I mean, like I've also got families, I've got a whole family, like 4 kids, a mother and a father, all, that would have pedicures and manicures. So obviously with kids under 6 or under a certain age, even, let me not just say 6, but this specific family, like their children range from like 11 to like a 1-year-old. So yeah, it would be difficult for them to go out to a spa, or it's just not convenient. It's convenient for them, for me, and maybe, to come to them and provide those services.
Nice. So according to you, when should someone get like a spa treatment?
When you need it. If you feel stressed and your body feels sore, when you need it, and I mean, like, people need spa treatments for different reasons. Some people could have had injuries, some people could have had surgeries, and they need massages to help them heal. So when you need it, I think is the answer.
So speaking about surgeries, what type of different massages do you offer exactly? And which kind of people do you cater for when you offer the massage services that you have?
So we mainly do Swedish deep tissue, hot stone, as well as aromatherapy massage. So when I say for operations, or when people have had ops, I also have freelance therapist that I work with her specialization is lymphatic, manual, and fascia type massages. So every single time I have clients that I know that need that type of massage, then I refer them on to her, to provide that service. But otherwise, for sports people, you would definitely give or recommend massages like your deep tissue. But for somebody who just wants to relax and wants to feel revitalized, something like a Swedish and aromatherapy would be perfect for those persons. So those are the kind of massages that we offer.
Yeah, that is very powerful, because I think in townships, when you speak about the massage, they just see someone who just touching your body for no reason, right? And of course, when we speak about massages, yes, you have mentioned that when you need it, you need to come for the spa treatment. But With that being said, we know that benefits are some of the things that people want to know about. So can you please walk us through some of the benefits of someone coming to you and getting a spa treatment?
Okay. So one major benefit that people experience from massage is that you are instantly able to move. Your body becomes more flexible because of the way that we sit, because of the way that we work, moving day to day. Our bodies tend to build up tension in certain different ways, making it difficult for us to just perform simple tasks. So the one thing that massage does, I think, which is the best benefit ever, it helps basically flexibility and mobility in a person's body, move easier. And beyond that, it helps to relax. When you relax, you sleep better. It helps with circulation. So yeah, the treatments or the benefits, are endless, So, but for me, the major one is that movement.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is my house alarm.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No
Okay,
problem.
somebody will switch it off now.
Okay.
No worries about that. So I also see that you also offer skincare, right? So I wanted to know.
We don't offer skincare. So what we offer manicures,
Okay.
pedicures, manicures, as well as waxing. Yes.
Ooh,
Those
wax
are our main
on, wax
treatments.
off.
Yeah.
Yes. Why you make that face?
Yeah.
Because I am definitely one person who is not considering waxing. In order for me to wax, you'd have to tie me down because I will literally run away.
Yeah.
And interesting fact with waxing, I found that I know a lot of people are very scared to get like Hollywood waxes. But the one thing that I found when you wax regularly, your Hollywood, especially ladies that have an odor problem for some odd reason, when you keep that area hair free, it actually helps with that.
Oh, so you guys also do Brazilian
even
wax?
underarms.
Yeah.
Even underarms, like people who struggle with odor. Yeah, like when you remove that hair, I don't know if it's because you're able to clean properly or what, but you find that even the odor becomes less,
Yeah.
Ooh, so you guys actually do Brazilian waxes?
Yes.
So
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not trained in waxing males Brazilian, so for now I only do for females.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, when someone hears, about some of the benefits of getting a spa treatment, so one of the questions they would ask is it possible for a massage to prevent chronic diseases, illnesses?
I think that would be too far of a stretch. I don't know preventing, but then maybe, let's say, I would say it would help. Remember what I said about keeping your body flexible.
Yeah.
So as you move, then maybe you are less prone to injuries because even when you maybe twist your ankle or something like that, you're not twisting it on stiff glued in muscles. It's like you've already, because of the massage, being able to keep your muscles flexible and supple, that when you do then twist in certain things, then like your arm can go a little bit further than what it would if you were not getting certain treatments. But let's say for saying massage will prevent high blood pressure. That is not something, I don't think that has been studied, so I cannot definitely put a claim to it. Because some of these things as well, it's also lifestyle and diet. I mean, like if you gonna have a bad diet, there's nothing in the world that you can do to outwork the bad diet. No amount of massages are going to be able to fix certain things. But they definitely help manage certain ailments.
Okay, so speaking about massages being able to help manage certain elements, so I wanted to know, how do you stay in tune or updated with the latest trends and spa techniques that are popping up out in the world?
So, like earlier when I mentioned that one of my freelancers does lymphatic drainage, right now we are living in an era where ladies are getting body makeovers, and with those body makeovers, as the person is healing, they are supposed to get massages to help drain the fluid and to move whatever excess, fluids that have been left behind, to help them drain them out. So like, I think keeping in touch on what are people doing out there, and can my service actually assist and help bring comfort to them. So I think looking at what is happening out there, people now are hiking, people now are gymming. So it's like, then how do you incorporate people's then lifestyle and what's going in there, and then making sure, okay, how can I target these people clients, because I know that they need these kind of services.
Yeah. And some of your services we see, man, there are some of the big weights that even a township guy, when they look at them, they're like, no, this is not a place to be. So aromatherapy, reflexology, these sound like luxury terms to some of the people. So personally, how do you break the myth that wellness is only for the rich?
Wow. I can understand why people would think that, it's a luxury, because I mean, like, we so used to living in pain that we've never actually experienced maybe the opposite, living in ease, if I can say, that I don't know, we even put it that can be something for me, because I can tell you a lot of the times, for example, with guys, the first time they have their nails done, they can't believe it. I think they always like, why did I wait so long to have my nails done? I mean, like, I feel like doing your nails is part of grooming. It's like you go and cut your hair, you shave your beard, you cut your nails, and then, I mean, like, if you call a person like me, it's like you're taking your self-care to the next level, just as you do with your barber. You're not doing your own hair. So like, yes, people are pleasantly surprised. I think before you knock it, try it for the first time, but it is for everybody. We all hold tension. We all need to cut our nails. So it's not even about, let's say, self-care or whatever. It's just just maintaining yourself and making sure that you feel good.
Yeah, nice. And it speaks to that a lot of people, they don't need to be scared of the term self-care, because whenever they think of self-care, they think it's a lot of work. You need to put a lot of effort and an amount of time to taking care of yourself. But with that being said, we know that these kind of things, like your spa, the visibility, some of them, they don't have them. We only find them through word of mouth to say, hey, spa se ipatileng ka ko khoneng ka mole. If you want, to go to get a massage, you can visit them. So with you, how is the visibility? Are you guys, doing campaigns where you let people know that you're available for these kind of services in your community?
So our main place where we put ourselves out there is definitely on social media. I mean, like, I don't know about of yourself, but for me, when I go look for a service or I go look for a product, the first thing that I do is to go on Google and I Google what I want. So that is the main place where we find our clients, because I feel like remember as well with Google, like, you have Google reviews where people can actually share the experience with your service. And that's also another reason why I use Google, because then I manage to read those reviews, and then that will help me decide if I go for a certain service or not. So it's the same with us. I put the business and advertise on Google, but we are also on social media platforms. The thing about social media platforms, it just allows us for people to actually see how we set up, how we do our treatments, how we do, basically just manage to see some of the backgrounds and to see clients experiencing. So that's the nice thing about social media. We can show people that side of it, So those are the platforms that we majorly leverage, but the best one I say that we've seen results is Google. So that's where, yeah, sometimes we'll post, but yes, we ask for our clients to get reviews or give reviews on our behalf, as well as run ads on Google. So that has been our major platform.
Yeah.
Now that's very interesting. Also on that note, can you also please share your unique challenges that you've faced so far since you've started your mobile spa, and obviously one of the greatest advantages of having a mobile spa instead of having an in-compound spa?
So I would say currently, like, the major setbacks that or challenges that we've experienced, I think having consistent, because I work with a lot of freelancers. So because they are freelancers, when they get an opportunity of a full-time job, then, they move on. So yeah, keeping that has been quite a challenge, because I would like to get to a time where I can also afford full-time job for my freelancers that I work with, And then, so I think that has been one major challenge, although I have quite a nice number that I've been working with over the past years. But yeah, it would be nice to take them on board and then to just work with them full time.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember, what else did you say on top of that?
The advantages of having a mobile spa.
Oh, the advantages of having a mobile spa. So I'm going to take it back to COVID. If I think of back in COVID when we were running our mobile spa, when the country shut down, I literally, as a person who runs a mobile spa, had no expenses. I had no rent. My car was set still. It was not going anywhere. So I didn't have to pour petrol. I didn't have to service my car. It's like, okay, when nothing happens, then it's like, okay, you shut down and there's not really much cost. So I think that's the one major benefit of having a mobile spa. The costs can be quite low, when things are maybe slower. But yeah.
Yeah, and now in terms of, because we know that there's what we call customer satisfaction, in businesses such as yours, and we know that sometimes customers come with complex demands. Have you ever found yourself in a situation whereby the customer's needs, cannot be satisfied, and you had to recommend them to the other spa or something?
So all the time, we don't do facials. Like I've mentioned, we get a lot of requests for facials. We don't do acrylics and gels. Like the manicures and pedicures that I do are plain simple on your nail plate. So I don't do gels. I don't do acrylics. So a lot of the time I do find myself having to redirect, and I don't mind it, and I also feel like, man, I can't do everything.
Yeah.
So if people do ask, then yes, I do then redirect them if I know somebody who's able to offer that service.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
And we see that, and of course we know that everyone in their journey, there are some of the powerful life lessons that they take along with them to be where they are. And you've also worked in luxury spas and cruise ships. What's one powerful life lesson each of those spaces taught you, and that still guides you till today?
I think when I came off the ship, the one thing that I had coming out is, because it was on an American ship.
Yeah.
And I love the delusions what Americans have. Like nothing is impossible in their mind. If they tell themselves that something is going to go, it's going to go down.
Yeah.
So I was inspired by just that outlook on life. They just made things as if like they can just happen like that.
Yeah.
Like, don't stress. You want to start a business? Come on. Just go register, get it on done, and then you'll figure out the rest later. Where I was coming from a mentality that you have to have these certain steps, then you have to have this much of money, then after you have this much of money, then you have to have a place, then you have just start.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and coming out of spas and coming out of even sheer touch, I think the one thing is just being consistent in what you deliver.
Yeah.
You know, has always been the one major lessons that have come out of these places, because there's certain things that you learn when you join a certain spa or a certain thing that they need you to be consistent in. And I mean, like, if you miss a step, then a person does not get the full experience. So just having an outline and staying consistent in the things that you do. It gets repetitive, it gets boring as the person that is doing it, but then every single thing is there for a reason, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But everything is there for a reason. Speaking about how everything is there for a reason, which one is your most memorable or rewarding client experience once a person has received a wonderful massage from you?
Ooh. Hey, you know, yeah, no, there's been many. Even my client last week? I think it was on Friday. This lady, she had this voucher from January, and she's a lady that consistently goes for massages. And yeah, at the end of the massage, she was just like, okay, that was just something else. But again, you see, I think it's also because of my background and what I have learned and how to deliver a massage, that I've kept what I have learned as I was being trained with different massages, even going on the cruise, that I know what places to kind of hit, you know, during a massage to make sure that it becomes more effective. So, hey, but the most memorable and the most rewarding, I think, accomplishing more corporate clients, you know, when you work with these big brand names. I think in recent, it was like there was a L'Oreal, but this was like a company shut down. I think it was last year, December, where there was over like 600 employees, and you know, they had a little massage section for us. So it's always quite enjoyable to work for such corporates and to do or to be part of events for such corporates, you know. So yeah, those, I think, because it takes a lot of therapists, it takes a lot of moving power to get a final product for a client, you know. So I think those are the most rewarding when the job is done.
Yeah, and that is very powerful. And I hope that everyone who would be and watching this conversation right now, they would definitely consider getting a massage right there in your spa. But lastly, for our Vooka fam who are juggling 9-to-5 jobs, side hustles, and personal goals, what's one small daily ritual they can start today to invest in their physical and mental wellness?
Stretch in the morning. Again, mobility, you know, stretch. It will help your circulation going. When circulation is going, oxygen is going to your brain. So then you're able to function better. You know, drink your water. Definitely keep hydrated. Yeah, I think those are the two ones that I think are doable immediately when you get out of bed. Just the 10 minutes. Stretch out your arms, because I know, yes, people are going to be like, they don't have time for exercise, but 10 minutes to stretch. You can even stretch in the shower if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. With that being said, if people want to get hold of you and know more about the services that you offer, where can they find you? Oh, I think we have encountered a network problem right there, right at the end of the conversation with Riabutse Mafisa, therapist, healer, and also an entrepreneur. So some of the social media platforms and where to find her, we are going to share them with you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. But with that being said, let us take a short break so that information can digest. And of course, you would also rethink and redefine what does a massage and also visiting a spa means to you. But with that being said, let us take a short break. We will come back shortly.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazibuko Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketue Mgunio.
On the Vooka
Vooka Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
And welcome back, Ms. Riabeti. We encountered a little bit of network connections right there, but we see that you are back. Before we concluded, we asked you in terms of where people can find you just to get and be rendered by your services. Can you hear me?
Hello. Hi, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think that problem is still there, but our technicals will make sure that this matter is dealt with in terms of you, of course, getting all of the necessary information, right? Ms. Rabbit, you can hear me?
Yes, sorry, I lost connection there.
No problem. No worries about that. So yes, just before we let you go, I just have one last question. So my question is, what's your message to anybody that is out there and would be interested in starting their own mobile spa? What tips can you give them in terms of them getting involved in the mobile spa industry?
I think education is important. Just allows you to know a little bit more than a person who just would go on, I don't know, the internet and teach themselves, which is not the bad, but educate yourself as much as possible, because remember, there are so many of us. Even now, if you go into Google, there's so many mobile spas that are out there. It's like, okay, what are you bringing onto the table that other people are not, you know? So I think bringing an insight that others are unable to bring, your unique skill set that is unmatched. So make sure that whatever that you bring to the table, it's going to be hard to contest with, so that even when you set your prices, that people understand why it is that they're paying what they are, because they're getting their money's values back. So that would be like the main major thing if you want to come into this industry.
No, that's amazing, man. Thank you very much for that one. And then if anybody would like to book themselves for some relaxation with your mobile spa and obviously get in touch with you, or maybe it's also a freelancer, a massage therapist who would love to also work under your wing, how can they contact you?
Okay, so they can contact us on WhatsApp, which is 081 492 1797, not that number.
Can you kindly please repeat it again?
Yeah, not that number. That one is my personal number. 081 492 1797. So yeah, they can give us a direct call or even WhatsApp us on that number.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. We hope that you're going to be joining us in the future in terms of how the business is going, and of course us maybe as the team, we will come there, of course, after a long 3 hour of a show to get some massage right there at your spa.
Thank you so much, and I would look forward to it.
All right, have a good day ahead of you.
Thank you, same to you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Yep, interesting conversations that take place right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, and exclusively only for you. So I just hope that you also learned something about there with some of misinterpretation and the misunderstanding of what a spa means, and of course getting a massage. And a massage is for everyone. If you want to get it, you can just go there, book yourself, go to Google services, and you will see the nearest that are near there on you, right? of course, we are left with only 17 minutes till we say goodbye to you. But I see right there on YouTube, KTTU came through and say, good morning, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Revugile, hashtag winter is here. Of course, yes, we woke up, but winter is gone, my brother. Winter is gone. Don't come with your own energies right here. We just know that winter is gone. And then, some of the things that are happening in terms of the update, some developing stories. When we opened, Action SA, they mentioned that they were unmoved by Mackenzie's apology. Yes, Mackenzie apologized to SABC for dragging it into a battle with the podcasters he plans to sue. But now, Mackenzie, people dragged him for some of the tweets that he made back then, 15 years back, right? And he was like, I am not going to apologize for something that I didn't do. And these were his words when he was asked if, are you going to apologize to people of South Africa with what you have said or not? So this is a clip from ENCA when he was asked a question, and this is what he had to say when he answered.
And ask forgiveness for something I didn't do. Why I'm asking forgiveness for some of the nonsense things I said about guys and swearing some guys, whatever. Not racism. I don't apologize. Why will I apologize for something that I didn't do? Even if the president says I must apologize for racism, I will not apologize for racism because I wasn't racist. Must I be so desperate for a job that I start apologizing for stuff? I'm a brother. I'm another type of guy, not that. What you see here, they fear me. They have been calling me Pantit, mustn't be here. They've been saying, hey, this Pantit, he mustn't be a minister. Then every time I beat them at the by-elections, where's Pantit and all? Now they found racism. What racism? How can I be racist, my brother? Me? You think 15 years ago I thought I'm going to be a minister? I was a rich, black, socialite, living life, owning nightclubs, driving sports cars. And when I became a minister, I found God and I changed my whole life. If you want to punish me at the ballot box. As far as the job is concerned, I got so much love for my president that if he tells me right now to resign, I will resign and I'll go naar my mense toe dat ons werk vir 2026. Bye, Zani.
Yeah, that is, the minister, speaking for himself, saying, I would never, apologize for something that I didn't do. And he stated that he was not racist at all. But we know that people, they went back and took some of the screenshot of what the minister said back in the days. And they digged. And these are some of the comments that they have got right there from the minister's account back in 2015. And as you can see...
Please note, they range from 2011, 2015, 2017, and 2013.
Yeah.
So these are old tweets that speak about the K word, and they range from different years. So Vooka Nation, I hope you're gonna have your own 2 cents when it comes to this one, especially regarding the comments that were made about Khaled on the recent podcast episode, man.
Yeah, because some of the sensitive things are right there, they were said. And the minister is not, taking any accountability because he's saying that he was still trolling back in the days, and he describes himself as being stupid back in those days, and it was back then 15 years back. And, he's like... if you want, to hold me accountable for things that I have done in the past and want to label me as this person, you can go ahead, because the person who elected me and of course employed me is the president of South Africa. If he wants to fire me, he can do so because he has the power to do so, right? So he has not been fired, so the minister will continue to do his work. But he came out and responded to some of these allegations for himself, right? But yeah, we're going to see what will happen as Action SA were not even moved about the apology that the president did, the minister did right there, right? So some of those things that were said they have been jumped into, but yeah, we will see what happens when time goes on, when the story develops. But you heard it from himself that he is not going to apologize for some of the things that he did. So you can let us know what you think right there in the comment section by using hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, or send us your voice note on 0604933226. That's 0604933226. That is the number that you can send your voice note to, call us in, or send your voice note. But with that being said, 12 minutes till we hit 10 o'clock. What we're going to do right now is to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to play a small and a little game. And of course, I hope that you're going to participate. So please do not go anywhere.
Escape the ordinary and discover the extraordinary with Swellappeal Tours. Whether you're a group of friends or a family looking for a memorable getaway, Swellappeal Tours has you covered. Our all-inclusive tours take you to South Africa's most stunning destinations, from the scenic beauty of Mpumalanga to the vibrant life of Gauteng and the coastal charm of Durban.
11 minutes till we hit 10 o'clock, and you're still chilling with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. It is your energetic start to your day, accompanied by that daily dose of positivity. And yes, it is still Tuesday, the 12th of August 2025, still celebrating Women's Month, and looking ahead of this beautiful week ahead of us in terms of what does it bring and what does the month itself has. Because yes, as much as we are still saying it's Women's Month, so many seminars are going to be hosted, and if you're a woman, please look around your area. Maybe there are women who are hosting some of these conferences that you might be interested in joining, right? Yeah, and as promised that before the break, we are going to play just a quick game that is called Spot the Difference. So we have 7 differences in this picture, and of course the one and only Avery will have to spot those differences.
Are you known as the victim?
Yeah. So we have 7 differences in the picture, and you're going to have 37 seconds to spot those differences. Just because you have already looked, your time starts right now to tell us which is the first, which is the second, which is the third, and then after spotting the 7 in 37 seconds, you will then tell us that you are done. But your time starts now, and I will count down from 37 up until you find those 7 differences in the picture that you see right there. So beginning now. 37, 36, 1, 35, 2, 34, 3. How many did you find? 3. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 4, 25, 24, 5, 26, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. You left with 2. 10, 3, 2, 1. And your time is up. So repeat the ones that you found so that we can confirm that it's 5 of them. Right? You're just going to point 1, 2, 3.
I can't remember the but I know, man.
From 5 to back to 3.
Yeah.
Right? So extra 10 minutes. What do I get? 10 minutes.
This is light. This one is darker.
Okay, that's 4.
The background, it seems lighter here, and if you look at this side, it's brighter. Zoom in, you'll see the color difference of it.
Is it?
La, the lighter. Kinyamanyana. Oh, come and spot the difference. Show me where the difference is. I found 3, right? So it means that you guys need to find 4. Please show me where the rest are. Where's the rest of the 4 differences, Mo? Show me, Mo.
Okay, since you have found those, let's start right there. I'm gonna start on the clock. Pictures right there. You found that one on the bookshelf, and then when we go to the couch, yes, there's a pillow right there. That one doesn't have a pillow. And then when we go to the shelf, there's no difference. Then we look the carpet.
One of those 3 coffee, what?
3 coffee.
There's 3, there's 2.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3 that I found. What can you find? I found 3. 1, 2, 3. What did you guys find?
Okay. So let's look where the kid is.
So you found what?
You.
No, pizza, but this side looks lighter. This side looks dark. Look at the cheeks here.
Ouch. Teddy bear.
Look at this side.
Are they sure it's 7, bro?
Now I'm also wondering, are they sure it's 7? Because I found 3. The rest
1,
look
2,
the
3,
same,
4, 5,
man.
6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. What is it that you're missing here? What is it that you're missing here? Because the cat, there's nothing wrong with the curtain, right?
No.
There's nothing wrong with the
curtain.
portrait.
There's nothing wrong with the picture frame. There's nothing wrong with the teddy
Clock.
bear.
But if you look at the curtain, this one seems like it's got these polka dots.
Yeah, the curtain. Yes, the white ones, ne?
Yeah.
The white. There's white.
Guys,
The
I
other
tried
one.
spotting the same difference. You're seeing it lighter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying at this picture.
This polka dots, nice.
So that's 4.
Where's the other 3 if that's 4? You know, I like the fact that our technician also likes getting us spot the difference pictures, ne? And I'm
So I'm not sure. Uyabona mawungabheka ecouchini ne, right underneath the red pillows, where there's a dot right there. You see the dot, and that side it's not there. Right?
Okay, so
That's 5 in total.
2 more.
2 more.
Mm-hmm.
Cause this one is more of color differences. I think so.
That's what I'm saying, because this side looks a bit lighter in some frames. Like, look at the wall. The wall is a bit lighter. This side is a bit dark. It's more of a color difference than actually spotting the actual difference.
And then when you look down there where the carpet, okay, the carpet covers, okay, no, there's no difference. Basketball all the way to the couch. Underneath the couch, there's nothing. Cupboard.
Even the kid is still the same. At least the way about Mutanos big is straight again. It's a difference.
The toys, like, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find this picture, man? Yo. Blanket. There's nothing wrong with the blanket. Teddy bear.
There's nothing wrong with the teddy bear. Even the flowers on the stand and the frame on the walls, it's still the same. You look at the clock, it's still the same. The shade of the lamp, it's still the same.
Hey, it's 7. They lied, man. It's 7. Here, they're just messing with you.
The person who ever made the spot the difference must come and find us. Because there are no 7 differences.
Oh, Okay.
Vooka Nation, I hope you guys are actually able to spot these 7 differences. Please let us know if you're able to spot them. Maybe your eyes are much more sharper than the 3 of us combined in the studio.
Yazi yanzima na igame nkosi yami. We imagine 37 seconds. It's supposed to be 37 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, now that's 6. Woo.
It's 7.
Yo, yeah, it is 7.
A tough one. Can you see the difference?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the basketball. But the 7th one needs to be on the kid, man. Something must be somewhere there. Something there, man. Like those toys, man. Like we need to look for something deeper there. Something deeper there.
Toys are still the same, even the packets on the floor.
Don't give up. Found something. Don't give up.
Yeah, man. There's something. The last one is right there, and of course we can't see it. Right? Oh,
isn't it the hooker there by the scissors?
Wait. Check the color of that right underneath the clock. Right underneath the clock, yeah. Compared with that other one, that side. Look at the colors. Are they the same? Yeah.
Which is the same thing that I made with that, and then compared to this one.
Nah, ziyafana lezo. But yeah, isn't it the 7th one? Guys, check properly.
It is, because if you take a look at it on the PC or another screen.
Yeah. Sheesh, that took us 5 minutes, man. I wonder who is this game for? Like, I'm asking myself, man.
Maybe it's for colorblind people.
No, you're like spotting the difference. So, like, what skill you need to have in general? Because yes, there are other things, but problem is when your mind starts wandering, there are some of the details that you miss on the pictures. But yeah, very interesting, man. These are some of the games that we always need to play, because apparently spotting the difference will also help you in your life, to say, you know what, I've seen something different with what I am and who I was yesterday. But yeah, very interesting. Spot the difference. That was the game, and that's how we close it right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Interesting. And of course, man, it was nice being with you on this wonderful Tuesday morning, the 12th of August 2025. And right there we see Steven Reactions live saying, morning of Vooka Nation, morning to you, Steve Ovo. Yep, 1 minute past 10, it is the time, and this is where we are going to say goodbye to you. Afriberry, any last words?
So my last words for today is, don't forget to be kind to yourself, because if you're not kind to yourself, how can you expect anybody else to give you the amount of kindness you expect the world to give? Don't forget that to love yourself, treasure yourself, because you are your biggest cheerleader. And for me, Afriberry, also known as Miss Berry Blaze, but to the darker the berry, the sweeter than tonton. Imnandi mamnyama mam hlophilik tikatekin, but marloko famaname weta ikoma kahle hiso ngwanamane.
Same time, same place, right here tomorrow on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Of course, bringing you all of the best and exclusive content that you have never seen. Right? Yep. Have a great day ahead of you. And of course, it is a Tuesday. And what we'd like to say is choose yourself, choose impact, and choose positive things in your life. Thank you so much for being with us. With that being said, thank you so much. My name is Mokiti Maimane, aka Max for maximum temperature. I am the son of Mother Nature. And
generator.
With that being said, sayonara. See you tomorrow.
Spread your love.